Hello everyone, how's everyone doing this weekend? Here in Zurich, it's cold and rainy, and winter has definitely begun, my favorite season. That means I get to stay inside and make some videos. So recently, I think 2 weeks ago, they released a trailer for the upcoming Lovecraft game, The Sinking City. Now if you've been paying attention to the news lately, vis-a-vis the Lovecraft community, you'll see that there are two games coming out, The Sinking City and The Call of Cthulhu. These are really good looking games, and it's clear that a lot of effort has been put into them. The Call of Cthulhu is coming out on October 30th, I believe, and be sure to check out my channel and subscribe to my channel if you want to see a let's play of that, because abso-fucking-lutely I am definitely going to be playing that game. I'm going to play the full game, and whatever DLC comes out, absolutely have to. The other game, The Sinking City, which is the topic of this video, is coming out in March 19th. Or 18th or something like that, if I remember what I googled correctly, next year. So sadly, we have to wait until next year to see the full game and do a let's play of that. But we have a trailer to look at, so let's look at the trailer for The Sinking City and see what we find. Let's go. So immediately we see a guy who is hallucinating or dreaming or something like that, lying down in a street, and he doesn't seem to be in a bed or anything. He seems to be knocked unconscious. And what he's hallucinating or dreaming about is something tentacled. That's really Lovecraftian on the nose. Some of you might think that, oh, you know, tentacles in Lovecraft, it's such an overstated thing, you know, it's really getting old now. Just because something has tentacles has to be Lovecraftian. I'm making a video about that, and I will release it pretty soon, I think, if I get my work done on time. But anyway, now if you look at the clothing and stuff that the guy has, it seems quite dated. And then you look at the gun he picks up, that's a Thompson submachine gun, right? That was popular in the 1920s and 30s, the early 30s. I think they used it in World War II. And then you look at the car that is in the background and the general buildings, how they look. I think this game is going to be set in the 1920s or very early 30s. Which, well, let's just say this. I made a video a while ago called What is the Best Time Period for Lovecraftian Horror? And I argued that the best time period is the 1920s and 30s. For various reasons. Go watch that video if you want to see why. And it seems like the game designers are using the same logic that I came to in making that video, which is a good thing. I think it looks great so far. So some of the things I noticed now are that the guy has no idea where he is. It seems like he just wakes up and he thinks, what the fuck am I doing in the middle of nowhere in the street? I have no recollection. So I think there's going to be some memory loss involved in the game somehow, and you have to piece things together. There's a spider thing crawling. It kind of made me think of the head in The Thing that comes alive and has spider legs in it. At one point there is a hand. There's a hand of someone that's on the windowsill, and they're in a building and they're watching the guy on the street. Now if you look at the hand, you'll see it's webbed. It's like webbed hand, like that of a platypus or something like that, or some sea mammal. Which of course, if you're into Lovecraft, that's a deep one, right? So we're gonna have deep ones in this thing. And finally in this scene, we see something I have actually been terrified of ever since I was a little kid, and before I even knew anything of Cthulhu or Lovecraft, was when I grew up on the ocean, On the ocean. I'm not a deep one. When I grew up in South Africa on a harbor, I grew up in a harbor village. I always used to imagine that what if the sea was the sky, because both are blue, and both are vast and flat. So you kind of imagine, oh, what if one is the other? So that was some fear that I've always had, like if the sea became the sky, and then it would just crush you. If that fell, it would just destroy everything. It's not really a Lovecraftian horror, I don't think, but seeing that scene really hit home for me, and that was terrifying. So I can relate to this guy's terror. Now we see a scene where a guy is being attacked by something with tentacles. Now I know what some of you are thinking, oh my god, it's so cliche, Lovecraft and tentacles. Yeah, it's true. But recently I've been working on a video I hope to release in the next 2 to 3 weeks regarding why Lovecraft and tentacles are such a commonly associated thing. Why is Lovecraft associated with tentacles? And after doing research for that video, this kind of makes sense. So it makes me appreciate what I'm seeing right here now very well. In the short version, tentacles are an inhuman appendage attached to something that we don't really have any commonality with, and they're attacking something human. There is the horror. But watch my video later on to get what I'm trying to say. Later on, we see a scene where the guy enters a bar, and if you'll notice, it seems like the camera is upside down and stuck to the ceiling. So it's like all the perspective is fucked up. It's not normal. It's not how it should be. That makes me think of a scene in The Call of Cthulhu, where the sailor Johansson is on Arlia, and he describes the geometry of the place as being all wrong. The buildings, perspectives, it's all wrong. It shouldn't be possible. That in turn, when watching the scene, it made me think of the artwork of M.C. Escher. I think he was a Dutch or Swiss, like mathematician or artist or something like that. And he made all these pictures where the perspectives were fucked up. Like ladders going upwards, but when you look at them later, they look like they're going downwards. It kind of reminded me of that. So I'm really impressed that the creators of this video game included such a subtle nod to Lovecraft. They have the tentacles, which everyone expects with Lovecraft, but they have also that very subtle nod towards the fucked up geometry. It's really cool. Oh, what's that right there? Oh, could it be? Is it what I think it is? Ah, I see they got the Elder sign as well. Not the Lovecraft designed one, but the commonplace pop culture one. Doorways to different realms and different perspectives. Also very welcome in a Lovecraft story. So what we're seeing here now is a guy waking up, going through a few scenes, only to discover himself lying on the street where he woke up from, and then he tries to wake himself up, but he gets attacked by tentacles, and then the person he tried to wake up sees what he saw at the beginning of the trailer. Oh my god, it's kind of complicated, isn't it? But basically, it seems like he's in a time loop where he wakes up, he discovers himself, he gets dragged away, and then before he wakes up, he sees himself being dragged away. So I think there is like a time loop, and eventually one of the mechanics of the game is that you have to break this time loop and sort of recover from it to progress the story of the game. So that's it. That's the whole trailer. Well, I gotta say, I am more impressed by this game than I am by the official Call of Cthulhu game, judging by the trailers, of course. It seems that the Sinking City has ticked all the boxes that the superficial Lovecraft fan would expect, and yet has made the game seem like something that a more serious Lovecraftian would enjoy. You know, someone who would really love the mythos and would love to spend time in that game world. I'm really impressed by it, and I can't wait to play it. I mean, it really just looks beautiful. From a gaming perspective, the graphics look good. Obviously, this is not in-game play, but it looks beautiful. The art looks beautiful. Everything just looks really good. Man, oh man, I have no complaints whatsoever about this at all. There's not even, I cannot nitpick anything in what I'm seeing here in the trailer. This is really going to be cool to play in March, but first we're going to have the Call of Cthulhu. That's coming out in, Jesus, that's coming out next month. So basically next month is October. We're going to have those Let's Plays on my channel. I'm really looking forward to doing that with you guys, and I'll see you then. And yeah, I hope to upload that tentacle video in 2 to 3 weeks time. So be patient, and anyway, see you later.